Hello, and my name is Toki Glassblower. I am a glass blower, amongst other things. I am also a professional skydiving instructor, a professional scuba diving instructor. I base jump, and I am a treasure hunter, and I have actually found real treasure in my life. So I've had a very adventurous life, and I love playing on the PlayStation. And I've been with them since they started, like back in '97. 98, I think I got my first PlayStation. And I've been with them ever since then. I don't do any other type of gaming. I don't do any computer gaming, and I don't do anything that's Microsoft related. But today I'm going to talk about how you could achieve 500 to 600 club points per hour. 500 club points is a realistic figure. If you got a really good time period, you could actually get 600 points an hour. But as you can see, this league just started. I am in the beginners league because this is a brand new club for me. And I have, in the last 24 hours, gotten 4,484 points just for myself. And I have no competition, so I could probably quit fishing right now in this league, and I would easily move up to the rookie league. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep fishing and fishing and fishing until I can't fish anymore. So this is what I've got today in 24 hours, 4,484 points. And that's solo fishing by myself. Now this is my actual club right here. This is the America F Yeah Club. And as you can see below the United States of America, I have 10,000 club points. I started the club last Friday, and today's Wednesday. And I just kind of messed around over the weekend, and I picked up like 6,000 points or something over the weekend, and that was 3 days before the club thing started. So I've been getting about 2,000 club points a day. I've been spending about 3 hours a day messing around doing this. And this is grinding. This is like, you have to be committed to doing this and stuff. So anyway, that's the club. If anybody wants to join my club, PM me. I'm 100% transparent. If you actually look me up on your PlayStation, you'll see that nothing's blocked. You can see everything about me. You can PM me, and that's what I would prefer. If anybody's interested in joining the club, I am looking for people to join the club. I'm not a one-man army. I want people that are really serious about taking a club and getting it all the way up to the master class. I was in a club, and when I joined that club, they were in the beginners league. And we went from beginners to rookies to, I think it's professional, and then we got up to, I think the next one's the masters. And that's when I decided that I was going to go ahead and leave the club and do my own club. And that was mostly because I had been getting so many points in the club, and most of the other people in the club weren't doing what I was doing. And when I left the club, over about 30% of the club points that they had were points that I gave to the club by my technique that I'm going to show here. And I just couldn't convince the other people in the club to join me and do the same thing. Because if we had, we would have been kicking ass. We had 18 people in the club, and if I could have just gotten half of those people, just 10 of them, 9 of them, to do what I'm doing here. And I showed them everything. I showed them and taught them and tried to say, hey, this, if you do this, you know, you can get a whole bunch of points here at Lone Star Lake for the club. And they were more, it was more of a fun club. I realized eventually that this was just more of a fun club, and guys were just wanting to hang out and stuff like that. And even though they were doing the league, they weren't as serious about it as I was. I was really wanting to be serious about it. So I decided to go ahead and take off and start my own club. And we have America F Yeah, and the league started yesterday morning, and I've already got 4,500 points just about. Okay. The first thing you will need to do my tech is this right there, the Rod Pod Quartet rod stand that holds 4 rods, or you can do the one that holds 3 rods. I wouldn't think that you could do this successfully with the one that does 2. You need to have at least 4 rods, which if you had the 3, you'd have 3 in the holder and 1 in your hand. If you got the 4 here, you could have 4 in the stand and 1 in your hand. This one here, you gotta be level 50. So if you're like less than a level 45, I would maybe skip the video, because you're not going to really be able to do this tech successfully or effectively as you could if you were just a little bit higher up. Maybe get the Congo or the Amazon DLC and use that to rank up really fast. That's what I did. I went from 48 to 80 using the 30-day, in just 30 days using the Congo DLC. So 48 to 80 in 30 days, so keep that in mind. Anyway, this is the actual setup that you're going to want. I have tried other setups. I have tried other this, that, feeder rods, bottom rods, float rods, and what I've come up with is that only this particular setup works. Not even the other rods or reels that are in the telescopic setup will work. Only the cheapest one will work. So the first rod you would get here is the cheapest one. It's the Telefloat 14.9. This is $500, pretty cheap. And then you're going to grab the Mini Spin 800, which is also the cheapest reel at $200. Max drag right there, $275. You can use different lines. If you look to the right, bottom right of the screen, you can see that I have mono 2 pound, mono 3 pound, mono 4 pound. You can use any of the mono lines. I actually have on there right now, I have 4 pound braid, and that works too. So I just went ahead and decided to put 4 pound braid on here, but you can use the 2 pound, 3 pound, 4 pound, or in mono, or you can use the 4 pound in braid. They all work on this reel, okay? You're going to want this particular float. You can either get it red or blue, the glowing slim floats. These are $250, so 5 of those would be $12.50. But the regular slim floats are $20, so you can get 5 of those for $100. So again, you can make it as cheap as you want to. The hook is a barbless number 6 hook. Package of 10 is one bait coin. It's pretty cheap, so we're really not up to a whole lot here. And then the bait that I actually use is veritable. I'm going to use, let's see here, we got banana bread. On this one I got red worms. On this one I got maggots. On this one I have waxworms. On this one I have bloodworms. And again, I have a 6 rod and reel setup that I have here just in case I need it, but I don't generally use it. So let's just get back to the first one here. That's the actual setup, and I have tried a bunch of different rods and reels and things. Let's see here. I have tried all the spinning rods, the light spinning rods, nothing worked. The match rods, they don't work. They won't give you 2 points per fish. Casting or feeder or bottom rods. And what's going on here is that with these telescopic rods, this one right there, that Telefloat, and all that other stuff, I actually get 2 points per fish for a common, and I get 3 points for a trophy, and I get 4 points for a uni. Lone Star does not have unis, so the only fish you're going to get there are common and trophies, but you're going to catch so many of them is why you can just get so many points. And if you try any of these other setups, if you use that one there, or this one, or that one, you can't get 2 points. You can only get 1 point. Any of these, if you use any of these spinning rods here, like this thing, the value spin, you're only going to get 1 point. And I don't know why that is. I don't understand why it's set up like that. But any of these smallest rods right here will only get you 1 point if you use them. I tried them all. I tried all these things, and I just could only get the 2 points and 3 points off of this Telefloat 14.9 with this particular reel right here, this value spin or mini spin 800. That's $200. That's it. I tried these. I tried these reels and this one, and I couldn't get any points combining it with this or with anything else. For some reason, just what I was saying is working. So as you can see, that's my setup, and this is the setup that gets me 2 points or 3 points. So let's just skip over here to Lone Star now. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. But I've taken this combination over to the Everglades. I've been to the Amazon, the Congo, and it still works. It's always going to be 2 points, 3 points. And if you take it to the Everglades or the Amazon, Congo, wherever, if they have unis there and you catch them, you'll get 4 points. So you'll get 4 points for a uni if you go to these other locations, and it works there. But the problem with the other locations that I found is that the fish are super powerful at these other places, and they're not really super powerful here. Lone Star here is dumbed down. It's the first lake that we all get, and the fish are super easy to catch here because there's a lot of novice people coming here. They don't have anything. They don't have super equipment or great anything. So the fish here are super easy to catch. A 1.5 pound crappie here hardly fights at all. I mean, you'll see that you pull these things and you don't really reel them in. You just kind of pull them in. And if I go to these other lakes and you hook up with a 2 pound, I don't know, small bass, or you hook up with like a tilapia at the Congo or some of these other fish, man, I tell you, you can hook up with like 8 pound fish, and all of a sudden you actually have a fight on your hands. And because you're fighting that fish, you're missing all these other fish. You're just missing fish. And so you get in this fish that weighs 4 pounds, but you still only get 2 points for it. And it took you 1.5 minutes to get it in, or 2 minutes to get it in. And during that time, all these other fish were biting. And you were missing them because you're just trying to catch one fish. That is not an issue to deal with here. Lone Star Lake is dumbed down for everybody, so that's why you want to come to Lone Star. The other reason you want to come to Lone Star is for this. Okay, so everybody should pretty much have this advanced license fairly easy, okay, right here. And forwarding time here is free. There's no penalties for forwarding time, so you can constantly be forwarding time to the peak fishing time. And that's the other reason that you want to come here. Again, the other lakes can have big fish, and if you get big fish, 2 points. Trust me, I've tried it. I've sat here and spent 10 minutes fighting fish in the Congo and find out, like, those elephant fish, man, those elephant fish, like 2 pound elephant fish, took me like 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes to get them in. It's crazy. They're like incredibly overpowered. A 1.5 pound crappie right here. Good God, you just pull them out. But I want to say here is that the location that you fish here is also important. If you fish facing this direction, right here with these lily pads, you'll get trophies. My fishing spot is right here. I always fish with this little bit of lily pads right here. And if you come down here and you fish this direction, right here, facing the back area, you'll catch common and trophies. If you fish this direction, right here, you'll only get common fish. And for the most part, I've fished a few spots around the lake here. I couldn't find any other spot in the lake where I got this combination of common and trophies together all the time. And I get like maybe every 10th fish I get is a trophy from here. But if I fish anywhere else, I'll just catch common fish. And that kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. You want the trophies, they're worth 3 points. So anyway, this is my spot, and I'm going to put my rod pod up here. We're going to start with this. I am going to angle this. I always set it up right here next to this. I'm going to angle it right about like that right there. I'm going to make sure that it is tilted all the way down, not up. I don't want it up. I want it all the way down like this, nice and level. And we're going to start throwing rods out here. And this is basically flipping. This setup is a flip setup. I don't even know why they have a reel on it. Like, you don't even really need a reel on this thing at all. You could just tie the line to the bottom here and it would work just fine. It'll give you the same tech. So it's basically more like flipping your rods than it is like actually reeling. You're not going to reel any fish in here. They're just going to be pulled out. If you've ever watched tuna long lining, it's very similar to that. You're just throwing it in, and when you get a bite, you're just going to hit R2 and pull your fish out. It's very simple. So let's get my rods in. Usually I have a bite by now already. A lot of times I can do this and I'll have a bite within, I'll have 2 rods going before I even get all 5 of my rods in. I'm surprised I don't have anything going right now. Just be my luck that I filmed the video and I do this video now and they don't want to bite, but I'm at a good time. Actually, let me just check the time here. I can show you. There we go. Okay, so I'm starting at a peak time, but I'm only going to do this till like at the most 8 a.m. So I'm going to go to 8 a.m. Once I see 8 a.m., I'm going to leave. Okay, and the first fish is on, and we're going to get this thing going here. So I'm going to hit L1 and left, and if you can see, you hit R2, you just pull them in right there. First fish, 2 points, 2 club points. And as you can see that I'm getting 3 greens, green, green, green. It says that this rod is the perfect rod setup for this particular location. That green, green, green right there tells you that. So there's 2 points. And we're just going to go ahead and get these, just keep doing this. I should be having more on. I'm surprised I ain't got more on. When they aren't biting, I usually just keep pulling in empty rods. But it's L1 up on the D-pad, 2 points. Here we go. Now this is more typical. I can have up to 3 or 4 fish on at a time. And you have to get used to using the L1 and the D-pad to pick your rods up. There's a trophy, 3 points, okay? You can see right there, 3 points, okay? And you'll catch a lot of these fish. So right there, that's it. 2 points, 3 points for these fish. And it's like this, like you can do this. I can do this for hours. I just set up my TV like this, and I turn on my laptop, and I put my TV set on the laptop, and I watch TV while I'm fishing like this. It gets very boring and monotonous. The guys in the other club, that was their complaint. They didn't like how monotonous this is. They just couldn't sit here for 2 hours or an hour doing this. But if you do this for an hour and you get everything going just right, like I said, 500 points, 600 points, once you get good at it, you'll just be doing it automatically. It becomes muscle memory, and you'll just be pulling these fish out left and right. When fish aren't biting, pick up an empty rod. I just keep picking them up here, and a lot of times that'll cause them to start biting again. So we'll get one up there. The most I've ever had to do this was 3 rods. Usually if I get to the 3rd rod and I don't have a fish on. Now you see right there, I didn't even have a fish showing on my rod, and I caught one. He was on there. So that's the other reason that I just keep pulling these rods in. They don't even show that I have a fish on, and I pull them in and there's fish on them, and I'm like, check that out, man. I'm not even really doing anything, and the fish are on there already. Okay, 2 points, but this is typical, and it can go like this. So long as you keep it at the peak fishing time, man, it can just be crazy. You can have all 4 of these rods going off on you, and it's crazy. What you want to do is keep track of the rods as you're catching fish. So if the first one hits, and then the 3rd one, the 4th one, and the 2nd one, though, that's the order that you really want to pick them up in. So you want to keep an eye on like how they're going. See, that's the 2nd one, so I want to pick it up. But if another one was going, I'd want to make sure, like now I'm going to get the 2nd one, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the 4th one here after that, and then I'll get the 3rd one. See, so I got 3 fish on right now. And this is how fast you can do it. You just got to get in this repetitive action of casting and reeling and picking up the right rods and stuff. And if you keep picking up the right rods, you generally don't get fish to time out on you. It's all about getting as many fish as you can. If you're picking up the wrong rods, you can get timeouts, and you'll lose the fish after that point. So, you know, knowing that it's 2, 4, 3 helps me make sure I keep them in order, and then I catch the fish and get them all in, and I get them all in and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what I want right there. I want to have 1 fish on while I'm reeling a fish in. But you'll get these lulls, and there won't be a fish. Nothing will be biting you. And when you get nothing biting you, just start picking up the empty rods. Just randomly pick them up. And usually, at the worst, you'll have to pick up 3 times. I've never had to pick up 4 times. And I've been doing this for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks now, every day. And I've only had to pick up 3 rods that when it wasn't biting. I've never had to pick up a 4th empty rod. A fish always bit by that time. So if it happened in this video, that would be a first. But normally there's usually at least 1 on, like there is right here, right now. And this is really the pace you want to be at, is just like this. Okay? It's just that you're always getting 1 fish. And this is why you could use 3. Like if you had a 3 holder, you could get by on this and stuff. And maybe 2, but I think you wouldn't be getting as many. You'd have a hard time getting like 500 points with just a 2 in the water and 1 in your hand kind of setup like this is. No fish, pick up a rod. Okay, and just recast it again. And see, as soon as I do that, I usually start getting bites again. And keeping track of the rods. 3 was first, 4 will be second, then I'll go to 2. And this is it. This is my method for catching 500 to 600 points an hour in fish. And you can't do this anywhere else. If you go to, like I said, any other lake, you'll still get the points and everything, but you're not going to get this many fish like this. It's not going to be this constant, steady supply of fish like this. It's going to be a few fish here and there, and you're going to constantly be catching fish that are going to take your rod and make you fight. This is not a heavy setup at all, and you'll have to, hang on here, 3. you have to really work to get some of these fish in, and then you won't be catching the other ones. So it kind of becomes a self-defeating thing. The fish here are super easy to get in. They're dumbed down and they're not hard to catch. So like I said, I don't even have to reel. All I have to do is just literally hit R2 button and it just pulls them in. And then hit my X button and I'm right back to casting again. R2 to cast and back to number 3 again. And just keep going at it. And you can do this for 30 minutes. You can do this for 2 hours. I usually try to do 2 to 3 hours at a time. If anybody wanted to join my club, I've only asked that they contribute 200 to 500 points a day. So 200 points, I can come down here and do 200 points in 20 minutes. Easy doing this. That would easily get you 200 points worth of club points. So that's not a whole lot to ask anybody, is just to give me 20 to 30 minutes a day here. But I'm not going to want anybody in my club that's not going to contribute. You have to contribute to the club. I want the club to be a great club. I want us to be successful, and I want us to be kicking butt and taking names from other people and stuff, and let them know that America is F yeah. You know, how great we are, because we have such big egos. But that's pretty much it, man. I'm just going to go ahead and finish this out now. I'm transparent. You can look me up on PlayStation, and you can PM me, and I'll get right back to you if you got any questions about this. So, hey, thanks for watching, and like I said, give it a try. It's boring. It is kind of boring, but you know, sometimes I put Spotify on and listen to music while I'm doing this. Another thing you can do while you're doing this, but normally I watch TV and fish all at the same time. I'm kind of multitasking here just to break up the boredom that I got. I guess if you did drugs or something, you might be able to do drugs or something to take the boredom off. I don't do drugs, so I know that my name suggests that I do, but I don't. I just blow pipes and stuff, but I don't actually do drugs. So anyway, good luck, man. And if you're serious about being in a serious club that wants to be competitive, man, give me a holler. I'll be willing to look at you, see what you got before I say yeah. So adios. Stay out of trouble, man. Learn how to skydive, man. Change your life.